Okay, welcome to the school board meeting of January 28th, 2020. It is 5:45, and I'd like to start with my welcome. As chair of the school board, it is my privilege to welcome you to this meeting of the School Board of Manatee County. Your presence and participation are an essential element and a valuable part of school board meetings, workshops, and public hearings. To assist the school board in conducting the public's business in an orderly manner, we ask that you please adhere to the following school board meeting protocols. Please silence your cell phone and other electronic devices upon entering the school board chamber.
Good. Check on left.
Please respect your fellow citizens and the school board by keeping conversation to a quiet minimum during the meeting. Please note that the capacity for attendance at school board meetings is limited to the 75 seats inside the board chamber. In addition, there is a section in the back right-hand corner for wheelchair access and medically necessitated standing. Please refrain from clapping, booing, speaking out from the audience, or engaging in any other behavior that is disruptive to the business at hand. Thank you. And with that, I'd ask that everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
This all takes luck.
Come on down, Mr. Barber.
Ms. Board Chair, board members, Superintendent Saunders. I know all of y'all are basically familiar with this student celebration, and it's one that's really meaningful to all of us because tonight is in many ways the first step on a journey that can really literally change the lives of some of the students that are coming before us. So it's an honor to have them here. And the person who's going to really get us started with this is the Executive Director of Take Stock in Children Manatee County, officially as of last week. Although this person has been a mentor for years, right? 6 years, and then was interim for some time. But like I said, just officially named Executive Director last week. And so to tell us a little bit more about what we're doing here tonight, I'd like to introduce Executive Director Ann Heller. So, Ann.
Thank you. Thank you. First, before I begin, I want to thank our board chair, Mark Barnaby, for coming tonight to witness this awesome event, and then also our board secretary, Jennifer Kaba. And she's a wonderful success story as well for our program. Take Stock in Children will present its 2019-2020 new scholars to the Manatee County School Board. The 36 new scholars bring Take Stock in Children's Manatee total to 610 scholarships awarded since 1996. Upon selection into the program, students must sign a contract. The contract states that the student will maintain good school attendance and grades, remain drug-free, crime-free, contribute 25 hours a year of community service while in high school. They must meet with a mentor once a week during the school year. In return, our students earn a tuition scholarship to any state college or technical school. These 36 student scholarships are valued at $293,000. The scholarship funds are donated from the community and matched dollar for dollar by the Florida Prepaid College Foundation. What a great opportunity for these students that with hard work and dedication, joined with the loving support and mentoring of our Take Stock in Children team, these students can pursue higher education and follow their dreams that will have a positive impact on them, their families, and the entire community forever. Please join us in welcoming the 2019-2020 new Take Stock in Children Scholars.
I'm Susan Knowles. I'm a staff member with Take Stock in Children, and I will be introducing the students to you. So, Tatiana Allen attends King Middle School. Luna Alvarado attends Braden River High School. Oscar Benitez from Team Success. Jonathan Centeno from Team Success. Janiyah Dawes from Hale Middle School. Brendan DeCosala from Palmetto High School. Erica Garcia Bernal from Braden River Middle School. Jose Gonzalez from Manatee High School.
Go Canes.
Giovanni Guzman from Sug Middle. Juluka Hernandez from King Middle School. Tulene Katibi from Rowlett Middle Academy. Gadiel Lopez Gomez from Team Success. Susanna Magana from Southeast High School. Bianca Martinez from Manatee School for the Arts. Jenny Martinez from Palmetto High. Aiden McCroy from Lakewood Ranch High School. Nevaeh Meckling from Southeast High School. Daniel Molina from Team Success. Marlon Nunez from Lakewood Ranch High School. Mario Octaviano from Southeast High School. Tomas Palacios from Lincoln Memorial Academy. Valerie Pasantis Bettencourt from King Middle. Elijah Sellers from Sug Middle School. Aviana Torres from Lee Middle School. Layla Ward from Mona Jane Middle School. And James Williams from Southeast High School. Congratulations to our class of 2019-2020.
Yeah, third row.
Great group of kids. What a journey.
While you guys are standing there, parents of these students, if you'd stand up, please.
Families?
Oh, wow.
And I have to say, in all the time we've been doing these recognitions, this has been one of the most well-behaved groups that we've ever had. Really appreciate that. So at this time is your time to run.
Thank you, Mark. Thanks, Ann.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for all your work.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Susan.
Good luck, students.
Great.
And Madam Chair, if I may, the reason that I was applauding for Aviana and Layla is because I had the pleasure to sit in on their interviews when they began this process, and just really two very high-quality young ladies that I'm glad to see they are here with us today and they're Take Stock scholars. So, but congratulations to all 39, of course. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, guys.
Oh, this ain't so bad. Okay. This ain't bad at all. No, this ain't bad at all.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Is it something we said?
No, but I don't know. But this ain't like what I thought it was gonna be.
Oh, yeah, yeah. A lot of parents just turned off.
That's okay. That's okay.
A little bottleneck out there. I'm not sure why.
So it's raining out there?
Oh, is it? Is it raining? Is it raining? Is that what happened?
Is it raining? I don't want to drive in the rain.
Raining out there?
No.
I'm not going to be the spokesman for the school district.
How's your pay grade?
We have till Friday, right?
Well, it's just, they'll be done.
It's 28.
More information you give to somebody, what they're gonna write. Something to write. Well, you have to. I think we're supposed to send to
And most of them are going to be retrieved from flight.
We're not our friends. It's the retired. Told me once. David told me. I think we have to do like equal year.
Wow. Wow.
That's a pretty good.
That's significant.
Very true. We have about 8,000.
What a nice looking group.
Rodney's not here yet.
Another good group.
I know.
So blessed.
Forties. Couple forties. Hey, single mom. You're making me laugh.
The usual suspects in there.
My son will know this.
Okay, board members. This is our second recognition, and you know, I was talking a little bit before about how well behaved that group was, and they were amazing. I mean, they did everything we asked. They lined up. They were very quiet. Usually it's very noisy out there, but they were exceptionally quiet. So behavior kind of is a constant theme tonight because we're recognizing behavior with this group. It's a special award that schools earn, and it's related to practices around behavior. So to tell us more, I'm going to invite Michelle Messina, the Supervisor of Student Services for the district.
No, it doesn't.
Good evening. So in addition to being Supervisor of Student Services, I am also the District Coordinator for Positive Behavior Intervention Support Programs. And I also have with me here today Diane Allen Maris, and she's going to help me with the awards tonight. To give you a little bit of background.
Sorry.
We're not hearing
we're
you
just,
at all.
It's not, we can't hear you, and there's a lot of talking in the audience. If there's a conversation you need to have, you can step out and then come right back when you're done.
Michelle, can you pull the mic a little closer?
See if that works better.
Lean in.
All right.
Sorry.
That's okay. So I am, in addition to being the supervisor of student services, I am also the district coordinator for positive behavior intervention programs. Manatee County has collaborated with the Florida Positive Behavior Intervention Support Project, which is based out of the University of South Florida since 2006. As I was saying earlier, I also have with me tonight to help me with the awards is Diane Allen Maris. She is our PBIS District Coaching Coordinator for Manatee. Want to start off by telling you a little bit about positive behavior intervention supports. Positive behavior intervention supports refers to a methodology which encompasses a range of research-based strategies used to increase quality of life and decrease problem behaviors by teaching new skills and making changes in a person's environment. Positive behavior support is part of a multi-tiered system of support, which includes instructional strategies, interventions, and other resources that are used to help all students to achieve. PBIS facilitates creating a positive school climate, improved attendance, increased student achievement, reduced need for more intensive supports, and provides praise and recognition when students demonstrate school-wide positive behaviors and expectations. PBIS also promotes consistency when addressing challenging behaviors and provides refresher lessons and targeted recognition throughout the school year. The Florida PBIS project has been recognized. I've got to stay in the center here. I can tell that my voice starts to fade out if I move too much. The Florida PBIS project has been recognizing model schools since 2005 because of the importance of the implementation fidelity in achieving identifiable outcomes. Model schools meet specific criteria standards which create positive climate and an inclusive school culture. These criteria include not only reducing discipline referrals and in-school and out-of-school suspensions, but focus on assuring equitable student outcomes across race, ethnicity, and educational programming subgroups. A model school demonstrates innovative and effective ways of supporting PBS in their school. There are 3 levels of model schools: bronze, silver, and gold. So tonight we're going to be acknowledging some of our schools who have received recognition. And we're going to start off with the Bronze Level Model School Award, which goes to Principal Bernadette Pletcher and PBIS Coach Catherine Day. Congratulations to you and the staff and students at Bayshore Elementary School. Congratulations. To Palmetto Elementary, a Silver Level Model School Award is presented to Assistant Principal Porco and Principal Frank Pastilla, and PBIS Coach Aaron Wheat. Palmetto L has consistently been receiving Model School Awards since 2014 and the 2014-2015 school year. Congratulations. Okay. And for the second year in a row, a Silver Level Model School Award is presented to Principal Lynn Menard, Assistant Principal Scott Flynn, and PBIS Coach Sean Griffin of Prine Elementary. Congratulations to you and the staff and students at Prine.
So if y'all could get right in the middle there, and then y'all could hold up your plaques.
I think they all wanted to be in front of us, too.
Okay, ready? There we go. One. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations, Lynn.
That was for me.
Any? Okay. All right, guys, moving forward. We're on to the approval of the agenda. The chair has found good cause to amend the agenda to include all items listed under agenda amendments on the January 28th, 2020 agenda updated January 27, 2020, and posted to the district website, manateeschools.net. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion. Please push your buttons. We have a motion from Dr. Hopes and a second from Mr. Kennedy. Is there any public comment?
No.
Just for, well, I mean, I don't know. Just for,
No, just public comment and one new business, number one.
okay. I just want to address one thing. The construction documents were removed. The district requested that yesterday. It's not, the desire of the district is not to not do those construction projects and move forward with them, but as we discussed at the workshop, when there became clear that there are contracts that need to be updated, the district felt it was better to address those contracts rather than to move forward with those projects without the updated contracts. So we will bring those back when the contracts are updated and hopefully also have a discussion about those contracts in a later date. But I just wanted to update that. If there's no other discussion, all in favor, please signify by saying aye and hit your button.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Let's move forward to the approval of the minutes. Madam Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, I recommend the approval of the minutes from January 14, 2020 regular meeting and January 17, 2020 board workshop.
So moved.
There's a motion. Mr. Minor, did you second that?
I'll second.
Yep, Mr. Meyer second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye and hit your green button.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. On to the consent agenda. Madam Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, I recommend the approval of the consent agenda for January 28, 2020.
So moved.
Okay, there's a motion.
Second.
Second.
There's a second. I don't think Mr. Kennedy hit his motion button fast enough, so Mr. Minor beat you to it.
I will second.
So we have a motion and a second, nevertheless. Is there any public comment? I believe you said it was later on.
Just a public comment. No comment.
Okay, sorry, it's consent agenda, there is no discussion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and hit your green button.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. We are on to new business, non-consent, item number 1, which is a new job description. Madam Superintendent, do you have a recommendation?
Yes, I recommend the approval of the new job description and position of student and family early intervention specialist.
So moved.
There's a motion,
I'll second this and we have public comment.
and we have a second. And with that, let's start public comment.
Ms. Middle?
This is an outstanding position that we received a grant for. It is to provide school-based early intervention services and connections with community service providers for students and families identified at risk, and to collaborate with school staff and community agencies to establish positive educational programs. We're looking to hire a person with a bachelor's degree in social work, psychology, human behavior. They're going to work with schools to identify signs of trauma, and provide additional community service providers for children and families, work with partnering agencies to help a shared database, to track students involved with the program, collaborate with parents, teachers, principals. It's an excellent, excellent position. My greatest concern, though, is that this position is grant funded from October 1st, 2019 through September 30th, 2024. Why are you asking the board to approve a new job description at the very end of January, almost February, when the funds were available on October 1st? Has the position been filled? Why this delay and the loss of grant money that will help our most vulnerable students? We have almost a 4-month lag here. So I'm concerned as a citizen that we have lost out on grant monies for this amazing opportunity for some of our most vulnerable children who are at risk for trauma and failure, and yet we wait to approve this in the end of January. So I just love to know, is it filled? Is this something that you're backdating? And again, it's another great concern that so many of us have with the HR department here in Manatee County. You heard from our auditor, and he mentioned that there are positions that are filled, you know, in your finance department. And just HR, so many of us in this community have great concerns with the quality of work that's coming out of our HR department. Thank you.
Is there any other public comment? Okay, is there any discussion?
If the superintendent could address the questions that were brought up.
Absolutely. The grant was awarded. It is a 5-year grant, I do believe, and after it was awarded, they had to go through the process of ensuring that all the proper steps were taken to make a job description, get it on the board agenda to be posted. We do not have a person in as yet that will fill in there, but we have had people working in picking up the pieces of that job until it's officially placed and board approved. So we do have the work going on and committees being met, and our whole new social emotional learning plan and MTSS plan will all be revamped and reworked and completed by the summertime. So yes, thank you.
Thank you. Reverend Golden?
I understand it was a $5,000 grant.
No, it was 2.7 million.
Will we get all of that?
Yes, we will.
So the
You have
delay-
over a span of time to spend it.
So for the delay from October until now.
Will not mitigate the spending
All right.
of the funds that we received.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, let's vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and hit your button.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that passes unanimously. Let's move on to item number 2, another new job description.
Yes, I recommend the approval of the new job description and position of Director, Site Support Services.
So move.
Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second. I don't think you said there was any other public comment. Any discussion? I had a request I asked the superintendent if we could have our CIO just come forward and kind of share the vision of what this job will do. I know there's a lot of other jobs and a lot of reworking of IT, but really better explain what the vision is for this job moving forward.
So the vision for the restructuring, alignment, and retention, prior to my arrival, there's been some challenges with the position over the last probably 6 or 7 years. The restructuring plan actually addresses a number of things, not just with leadership positions, but really succession planning. We have, if you look at the leadership personnel within the Information Technology Division, each one of our members in the next 5 years, and that started with the retirement of, I think, 35 years, Nancy Thomas in records, each one of our members over the next 5 years will have retired. I believe we have 14 individuals within technology also in drop currently. So when we take a look at the next 5 years, there's going to be a significant transition that's going to occur here in Manatee County. And as I looked, when I came on board in April, didn't want to play the shell game, wanted to understand the personnel, where we needed to support our schools, and really work with the existing leadership team that was already in place when I arrived. So this position, we're changing our service delivery model, how we order and procure PCs and how we deploy those devices to our schools. More importantly, and what you'll see in the board meeting in February, is actually a structure that's going to support all 50-plus schools and also take into consideration our existing technicians at our schools and really put a tiered support plan across our entire school district. So this particular position obviously oversees all the site support technicians that work at each of our schools, as well as our application and training department or our service desk, the print shop, and the records department. So a pretty robust area, but really more importantly, it puts the position of the CTO and our school district to ensure that there's succession planning across the board. We have over 100,000 devices that connect our network every single day. And we support every department, every school across the district. So really, this is about providing world-class support to each and every one of our schools, but really allowing the foundation for succession planning.
I have another question. Is the intention of this job to, you said this person's going to oversee all of the site support of the schools?
Sure.
There's already somebody that does that, and they're one of the people that are retiring shortly, but it's not this job position. Is the intention that this will replace that, or that this person will oversee that person?
Saying no, actually that position, that's the position that we're speaking to this evening.
This will
Not
be a
creating a new,
replacement.
right, that is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Reverend Golden.
The definition of site support services, I'm assuming we're talking about information and technology. Is that what?
Yes, sir, yeah, if I break it down, the easiest thing is anything that connects, any peripheral device, computer, printer, multifunction device, our panel displays, our Promethean boards, our Samsung panels, basically any device that connects in the classroom to the wall is basically site support.
Okay. And that, and information services, technology at that particular site.
Correct, correct. The plan is cost neutral. We actually took, as we're reorganizing all of IT, and you'll see this at the next board meeting, it's cost neutral. We've got some positions that as we moved and worked with the information technology leadership team, that we no longer, that through attrition, we're not filling. So this is actually a cost neutral plan. You'll see that next week with, or next board meeting in February. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Any further discussion? Okay.
See you at the next meeting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We've already had a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye and hit your green button.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. And that moves us on to public comment.
Thank you, Gina. We have a pretty good list of public comment tonight, so let me just quickly go through our bylaws on public comment. I know this is a bit of a repetition for many, but I just want to still this reminder that public comments related to education in the district are welcome and encouraged. Public comment opportunity is not, however, an open forum to discuss matters unrelated to education, to support or oppose candidates for public office, or to engage in commercial speech, attempting to sell a service or product to the board or public. Public comment is not a forum to engage in personal attacks against school system employees or board members. Any such complaint should be submitted in writing to the superintendent for appropriate handling. And obviously, issues involving individual students should also be kept out of public comment. And just, I've said this in the past, I'll say it again, because we've run into this a little bit recently, that addressing district employees by name is out of bounds. If you want to criticize the superintendent or the board members, you are certainly welcome to do that. Mrs. Mendel, I appreciate you had some concerns, but you just referred to a department. You didn't use anybody's name, so I appreciate you following that rule of public comment. That said, Ms. Phillips. Is Ms. Phillips here? Joanna Phillips? Is Joanna here? No? Okay. Ms. Demetria?
Basically, I'm here to find out what the appeals process is, because my son was, I don't know what he was. He was disenrolled from a school, and I was not notified or anything. I just was told by, my son was just told by a bus driver that he was disenrolled from the school that he was going to and put in to another school for bad kids. My son is not a bad kid, so I need to know what the appeals process is.
You know, if you would like, she's the deputy, she can meet you outside and talk about your situation, and we can figure out what's going on and give you an answer.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Mrs. Mendel.
I'd like to read from a letter that you all received from the ACLU regarding a lawsuit that was December of 2017. The ACLU writes to superintendents, we are 10 board members. We are troubled by the continued trend of removing at-risk students from regular public schools. Excluding students from their schools increases the risk of arrest and decreases their chances of graduation. While the public knows this practice generally as expulsion, our schools are relying on less formal approaches, including pressuring families to voluntarily transfer their students or unilaterally transferring, like that mother, student to an alternative school under the title alternative placement or disciplinary reassignment. Whatever the label, we remind you that every child in Florida has a constitutional right to a high-quality public school education, and any effort to deny that requires due process. After all, a sentence of banishment from the local educational system is, insofar as the institution has the power to act, the extreme penalty, the ultimate punishment. Stripping a child of access to educational opportunity is a life sentence to a second-rate citizenship. Some school districts have been using this category to prevent students from attending their regular schools without giving students the ability to challenge such decisions. A Florida court affirmed student due process rights and reassignment decisions. In December, the Florida's First District Court of Appeals ruled that students removed from the regular school under the guise of alternative or disciplinary placement have the right to due process protections provided by Florida's Administrative Procedures Act, the APA. Let's see. The reason why this is not done is there are racial disparities, must be examined and addressed. Such disparities should give you pause, given that discriminatory administration of student discipline based on factors like race are prohibited under federal law. I did pull the demographics of Horizons. I'm happy to share it with you. In 17-18, you had 215 students enrolled at Horizons. In 18-19, you had 283, and as of today, you have 417 students who have been banished to Horizons without their due process rights. Your racial makeup in 17-18, 74% of the students at Horizons were children of color, and in 18-19, there were 79% of them that are children of color. Your grades, the children who were included in Horizons in 17-18 didn't start until 5th grade, and you had 3 of them. Unfortunately, in 18-19, you brought in 4 second graders, 3 third graders, 9 fourth graders, and 6 fifth graders. Fourth graders being probably the children that you retained in 3rd grade, and it didn't work, and they became discipline issues, and there you banished them to Horizons. I did notice that after the artificially inflation of graduation rates, you kept pitching them into Horizons. It's against the law, and it needs to stop.
Thank you, Mrs. Mendel. Susan Bischoff? For a second. Reverend Mazon? Oh, there he is.
Good evening to you all. I'm here for one reason and one reason at all, and that is to continue aggressiveness that we are planning to accomplish by getting some answers from what was recommended here 2 weeks ago on the situation and the issues that we have with our current superintendent. We do think and know and believe that we deserve an answer as a community on the issues, on the discipline, and on the actions of our superintendent. We understand your position. We don't have an issue with your position. And we don't threaten to do anything out of character. But one thing we do warned that we will take the chain of command and move in the areas that we need to move in to get the answers that we need to get. We're not a large group, but we're a concerned group. We're now the MCC4J, Manatee Concerned Citizens for Justice. I hail now as the president, and I speak on the behalf of the community that backs us 100% of what happened. Our agenda is one agenda alone at this time, and that's the LMA situation. We have a lot of information, a lot of compliances that was not met, sunshine laws that was broken, and we're willing to expose those. We did make a recommendation that the current superintendent be put on administrative leave until this board and the citizen of this community and the others do a full investigation to prove that everything was done decently and in order prior to the LMA situation. You all know the facts. You've probably seen some of the facts. And if it's any way possible that we can get some results from the shade meeting that was done this afternoon, it'll be greatly appreciated. God bless you and keep you.
Thank you. Reverend Mazo. Mr. Jones.
Greetings. Happy New Year to everyone. I'm with Pastor Mazon. We're back for the same reason. It's a shame that we have to be back this long, that this has gone on without any action from the board. I'm just praying for you, and I mean it. That I'm not sure if you worship the same God that I do, or I don't know what it is, but I don't know if it's the color of our skin. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something wrong here. You know, that you guys would just continuously for such a long period of time just ignore our complaints and our concerns and what happened to our children with no action whatsoever, no investigations done, nothing brought forward to the community. Hey, everybody, let's call a community meeting, let's get everybody together. No, nothing is what you've done. So you've buried yourself. You buried yourself by your own behavior, and y'all can sit up and think I got a pistol or something. I do not. I talk in spiritual terms. You buried yourself with your own conduct and behavior. And you can't blame us for chasing you down for what you did to those kids over there. You know, they had the 18, 19 year, they had less than 75 referrals all year. All year. They have over 500 right now. We had a kid bring a gun to school. We had a girl be Baker acted after the shutdown. And not one person has reported anything back. You've just totally ignored our concerns. And what that shows to me that you're not concerned with all the children here in Manatee County. Dave, mind you're supposed to be a good friend to the community for a long time, the watchdog, brother. You sat right there on your watch and you didn't call for one investigation. You didn't do anything. You know why? Because you would implicate yourself. That's the only explanation that anyone can come up with. And we've got evidence of it. You know, those things that we presented so far, man, we don't throw everything out at one time. You know, you guys are cooked. Some of the things that we're going to find in those other email requests that we're not backing down and we're not turning loose, I'm telling you right now. And it's going to get a lot worse for you as it goes because you sat on it so long, you look suspect. Every last one of you look suspect. You're on the board of Centerstone, sir. You didn't do anything, demand any type of mental health assessments for those kids after they was terrorized by the police with guns out in their school. The way black children view law enforcement, y'all didn't see anything wrong with that? Man, God gonna smite y'all, man. And we sent here to help him. As God is my witness. We will not let this go on. We will not let this continue. All of you, man, they got a special place for all of you that have sat back there. And Jeannie, you're a teacher. You wouldn't have let them take that parish, any one of those parish schools out there where you're from, you would not have let them take them in one night when they had presented not one shred of evidence to you. You took their words and they made fools out of you. You know, falling behind this lady here that has a history of fraud and lies and is all kind of trouble. And then you bring him in on top of it. I'm a joke.
Michelle Williams. Miralina. Marlena.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Ma'am, all I had on my screen is Marlena. Could you just restate your name?
Marlena Parm.
Thank you.
Yes. I too am here for the LMA situation, as everyone is, I'm sure, is familiar with myself. And again, just to reiterate the whole situation as far as the takeover the night before. And yes, there has been quite a bit of evidence that have been found, kind of not looking real good for quite a few people here, not just yourself. The mayor of Palmetto as well has been implicated in some of the wrongdoing. Just direct fraud, I mean, it's unbelievable. And the fact that we do have people that sit on the board and no one vetted any of the information that was given to them. Everybody just took whoever's word for whatever it was without properly getting the information that should have been in front of everyone. That's kind of, I don't even know what to say about it, because this is supposed to be a board of really, I'm assuming, smart and intelligent people, but it's not really looking that way at all. So I'm not going to waste any more of your time, because a lot of our time has been wasted.
Ms. Rhodes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, the only thing, I'm not going to speak every time I come up here, because I am a member of the Manatee County Concerned Citizen for Justice, and we're not going anywhere. One thing you all did, y'all picked at the wrong school, and that's the school I graduated from, and that's the only black school in the neighborhood. And another thing, somebody here is telling lies. What you're getting from Tallahassee, you're supposed to work with us at Lincoln. But you all, some of you guys here, I'm not going to call no name, jealous of Mr. Hunley, because he is a smart man. And you know, you can smile and do whatever you want. You are. Because in the first beginning, this should have never came up about Lincoln. You withheld money, but like I say, we have the evidence. You're going to hit wide open. And some of you all are not going to have that smile on your face when it hit. And then another thing I'm thinking about too is this. Now, y'all stop our registration at Lincoln Memorial Academy, where they had 600 kids. Y'all went and put something there at Palm View, adding 6th, 7th, and 8th grade to try to throw our school off. But I'm going to tell you something. I work hard, and parents do listen to me. Lincoln going to stay there, and their enrollment is going to be back up. Whatever you tell, you stop us from registering the kids and everything, just throw us in a loophole. Because you guys up here do not like Mr. Hunley. He a smart guy. And I know, and I've been to meeting with you all and know, and have pictures that I took that you didn't even know that I was videoing of you all talking about the school to a person you didn't even supposed to talk to. Yes, I set it up, FDLA, for you all. But, and another thing, you all built this school out in Parish, and you didn't have kids to accommodate that school, but you built it because somebody want that school out there. But what about Palmetto High flooding? That money you spent out there, you need to get Palmetto High fixed with the flooding. You all don't think about us north of the river. You're going to wait out the parish. And then another thing, you're going to try to move this little, how you say, to get these kids to go out the parish. The parents say their kids not going out there. Not going. And you see that. Because in the first beginning, you shouldn't have built the school. You should have took care of Parramatta High and every school across the river. Lincoln, all the schools. Not think about school, and I'm not biased, but you think about the school would benefit you all where the white folks are. Thank you.
Pastor Huggins.
Good evening. I do come to you today with a concern and with a report. Today, my concern is over the Christmas holiday, I was able to witness a video that was actually, I guess, conjured by the school district in representation of the school board. And it was put on display through YouTube. And it actually co-starred me as being one of the main characters. I found it quite interesting because of the title of it. It was, I guess, in representation to say why the school board is enforcing security, their protocol to it. I'm quite sure most of you probably already had an opportunity to see it. If not, I encourage you to do so. But I found it very interesting because I hear some of the comments you make and prior to the meeting starting that basically you want everybody to be civil during meetings like this, and I try to do so. I try to encourage those around me to do like manner as well. But it's kind of tough, and I say this because I have a great concern. Hopefully, at some point, and maybe so, I don't know, there will be a point where you would be encouraged to work with this community. And when I say community, I mean the black community as a whole. Kind of shameful of us, what you see us doing now. It may be a little bizarre because we come to you with complaints, and sometimes you don't really like the way they come, and I know maybe some people can use better tactics than others, but what we're doing now should have happened 50 years ago, so kind of shamefully on us, but here we are. And I don't anticipate us going anywhere no time soon. We have a great concern for our young people. We have found a way to find voice, and that voice, what we were showed and told, is to be expressed to the school board. And so that's what we do. We try our best to come and share with you our complaints. Again, it may not be in the best mannerism at times. Sometimes a lot of emotions get tied up in it. But at the end of the day, I see where it has gotten us. We got trouble in Manatee County. And and I'm saying what I'm saying to you in lieu of the video that I saw. And I guess it was trying to tie myself in with the reason why you felt like you needed such top-notch security surrounding you. I'll excuse myself.
Thank you, Pastor. Mr. Newman?
Good evening. I'm here again to urge this board to implement meaningful and comprehensive Holocaust education in all Manatee schools at all grade levels. You will be given some handouts here, including a questionnaire regarding various questions having to do with Holocaust education and Jewish History Month in the Manatee County schools. And I'll call your attention now to the last question. What plans are there for linking Holocaust education and Black History Month upcoming in February 2020? Because this is a unique opportunity for the schools to do exactly that. I've been also included a brochure where Jewish history and Black history meet. Because although fortunately Black slavery ended in this country in 1865. Jewish slavery continued well into the 20th century. And we do have Jewish slaves still alive now. And I also call your attention to Moses Elias Levy, Florida's own one of the first abolitionists in the early 1800s, as well as the creator of a refuge for persecuted Jews of Europe in Central Florida back in the mid-1800s. Also, you will see a testimonial from a young graduate of the Manatee schools, Jordan Hoopengarner, and here's what he says. When I was in high school, I took a class on Holocaust education. It was 2009. It was one of the most impactful classes that I've ever taken. My memories will always be with me. One of the memories that stood out the most was when a Holocaust survivor came and spoke to our class. I cannot imagine what the Jews and others went through during the Holocaust. I could never understand how people could have such hatred and commit such heinous crimes against humanity. I believe that every student should have an education about the Holocaust. They need to see the evil that some people are capable of and how to avoid repeating history. The class that I took in high school gave me an entire new respect for people, especially the Jews. We can all learn from the Holocaust, and I hope that Holocaust education continues to happen, especially for our youth. I believe if someone is educated about the Holocaust, we will be more compelled to stand up for those who are persecuted. As terrible as this is, the Holocaust needs to remain a reminder to people that this could happen again. Education serves as a reminder so that we do not repeat history. Here we have a young man who did receive comprehensive and effective Holocaust education, and you see how that has stayed with him even 11 years after that education. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, Ms. Coletta.
Good evening. I'm Starla Galetta. I'm a teacher in the district and have been for 16 years, an employee for 20. I was going to speak, I believe, in August when I came home from my summer vacation. However, the thoughts that I had on the plane ride home was of the July meeting. And I was saddened and disturbed at so much discord and upset and of emotions in our community. Then my plane almost crashed. We were on emergency landing, and I still have flashbacks of that moment, but we got on the ground. And my thoughts changed, and I realized that my priority was my classroom and my students, and the board would just have to wait. And all I wanted to do was get to them. And once that was achieved, and once I listened to their beginnings of the year and things that were going on in their lives, and we started talking about our community, things going on in our community, I realized it was time for me to come back. And members of the board are new in our community. Many members of the board are new in our community. And we used to do a school celebration at the beginning of the meeting so that we could teach new members of the board different things about our community. But I'm a product of our community. I've been here 43 years. And there was a time in our community when I had never looked at a child that was a different color sitting in the same room with me. It wasn't until I moved to Mississippi when I was 8 years old that I saw a little girl that was a different color than me. It wasn't until I was 13 and at King Middle School that I faced a child that spoke another language. Never had the experience to be around people that had different cultures than me. And when once I was back into Florida and experienced that, I was told that student she wasn't allowed to speak her language at King Middle School in 1990, as was for all of our speakers of other languages. There was a time deep in our community that I have learned that with Lincoln Middle School, and I'm explaining and talking with my students and trying to be objective and let them see why people are so angry, why there are so many emotions. Because there were times when the students at Lincoln Middle had to wait to use the microscopes at Manatee High School. They had to do that on a Saturday so that they could receive instruction. There was a time at Lincoln Middle School when Mrs. Carson, who was a former principal at King Middle School, took her teachers across the river so that she could see what we're just redistricting, where the students were going to come from, so that her teachers would be prepared for different cultures and communities. I believe it's time that we go back to something like that, to where we learn and where we share and where we talk. When Stacey Williams III was shot, I believe in 2007 behind my classroom, I walked 100 miles around Manatee County. Many people remember that. I wanted to see the schools that our students came from. In the richest of communities, they turned me away. In the poorest, in the hardest, in the areas where people do not walk during the day, I was welcomed with open arms. People put signs up that said, "Teacher, stop here." They waved at me out their doors. It is time for us to go back. It is time for us to have some conversations, because people are hurting. And that is why they're coming, and they're not going to go away until we're willing to listen and learn. Thank you.
Okay. The next item is workshop item requests. I think we kind of hashed that out at the workshop.
I do have one more though.
Seriously?
Really?
Really?
Can you, while
Oh, he's got a
Michelle,
preparation.
I have a small packet of info, and I will make this as short a story as I can while Michelle is passing those out. So, I was at the City of Bradenton's affordable housing meeting not as a member, but as a member of the audience. And while I was there afterwards, I met a gentleman named Mark Vengroff, and the Vengroff family is responsible for many affordable workforce housing initiatives, including Robbins Apartments, which is just a mile south of this building down First Street. So Mr. Vengroff and I, again, Mark, not his father or his brother, but Mark, we got together later in the week, and Mark approached me with an idea for how we, as a school district, can partner with their company, which is called One Stop Housing, to provide affordable housing for our employees, especially young teachers and those employees who are, at kind of the living wage level or just below living wage, which, according to the database, is about $15 an hour. So we can workshop this later. I just wanted to introduce the idea to everybody. But essentially, at Robbins, for example, as you can see here, and if you know Robbins, it's a converted hotel, which has been turned into basically studio apartments. So at Robbins, the renters pay $750 a month. They are on a month-to-month lease. And so there's flexibility to come and go as they please, but it is a safe, comfortable space where one of our employees who is just starting out could find very affordable housing, which, as we all know, in Manatee County and really around the country, is an issue. In addition, Mark informed me that there's about 5 acres of property behind the apartments, which kind of abuts up to the.
Sounds like you're really getting into the workshop.
Sam, but let me just, I'm rolling. Let me just go. So, but their next phase of development for that property is about 200 units of 2-bedroom space. So, where families could move into potentially. So, anyway, what I wanted to do for a future workshop is invite Mr. Vengroff here to, talk about the company, talk about their workforce housing kind of mission that they are on here in Florida and in Tennessee. And like I said, the info you have is here, but this is not a, we get approached a lot by, folks who are, have something to gain by dealing with the school district, but this is really just an altruistic offer to partner with us to provide housing to our employees, affordable housing to some of our employees. So that's the long elevator speech. It's a really tall building if that was the elevator. So Madam Chair, I'm hoping we can put that on a workshop for maybe a half-hour, 45-minute section of a workshop coming up.
Okay. I'm sure we can work that in there.
Great. And I will have Mr. Vengroff reach out to you individually as well.
You got another one?
I just don't want to lose sight of the other part of the conversation that Mr. Shin mentioned with regards to, and we did this before, if you'll recall, around our IT staff deficiencies where we created the new positions and I think that he's right, as we have that conversation around our committees and things like that, also have a workshop with the superintendent about her needs, her human resource needs in finance and in operations and in IT, so that we can incorporate that into our work, including budgets, because this work doesn't get done if the administration doesn't have the resources, not just in technology but in human capital, in order to continue to move this district forward. And I think it's going to be a long conversation. Thank you.
Got it. Legal update?
Just a couple items. Just wanted to let you know I'll be giving an opinion or finding my brother's prior opinion on the audit committee's request to clarify what their rights and duties are regarding the charters, and specifically the sales tax funds that were earmarked for certain expenditures. And in addition, I'll be helping with assisting from a legal standpoint with the updating of the construction contracts.
Good.
Thank you. Instructional update?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Today we had our first meeting of the Arts Education Task Force. That is a group that will be focusing on STEAM, incorporating the arts with our science, technology, engineering, math, science, all of those areas. It is our purpose to come together to prepare our students for college, career, and life, indicating how the arts can certainly positively impact our students, providing academics, emotional support, as well towards a well-rounded child. So we want to address the whole child through the academics and the arts. So you'll hear more from us regarding that. Additionally, wanted to mention that there is a weekend opportunity pushing past the achievement gap, a conversation with Dr. Gloria Ladson-Billings. I've had the opportunity to meet and interact with Dr. Billings in the past. This should be an excellent gathering where conversation will ensue amongst community members beginning at 11 o'clock this Saturday. Should be a couple of hours long with some stimulating conversation focusing on diversity within Manatee County and how we can work together in the best interest of our students. Also wanted to follow up on our school climate grant that was referenced earlier by a community member. That is a $2.7 million grant. We have been working towards accomplishing goals that will reach fruition at the end of the 5-year grant period. We have a steering committee, a task force, individuals who have already begun reviewing our behavioral procedures and plans that are associated with our multi-tiered level of support. We have recently, at the last board meeting, hired a coordinator for the grant, and that individual is now taking steps to generate a network of individuals and a framework within which we will work to connect many areas in the social emotional learning area, academics, behavior, etc., so that there is a single plan and we're all moving towards a common goal. So we are moving forward with that, and we'll continue to provide updates regarding the grant as we proceed. Thank you.
Operations update.
Absolutely, thank you. I have just 3 items tonight. First of all, the job fair. You heard about it at the last board meeting. It took place on last Thursday at the Wakeland. We actually had 56 applicants come to our job fair. 30 of them were hired. It equated to 19 in food service, 5 custodians, 2 bus drivers, and 4 bus attendants. So I want to thank the personnel department, food service, maintenance operation, and transportation for all being there. Short construction update. We're closing out the 3 new schools with the final audits. We're working on the SSC generator project, security fencing, renovations at Ballard Elementary, exterior painting at Southeast High School and Lakewood Ranch High School, the Willis Addition, Bayshore High School science labs. We finished those up, and those are just to list a few.
And number 4 is the 10th annual Play with Your Fruits and Vegetables Day. Hands-on experiences for students to use their imagination and planning skills. This year's theme is Safari. It's February 7th across all of our schools here in Manatee County. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Superintendent?
Well, I know many of you attended the fair that just ended. It was a wonderful event. I do want to thank Commissioner Trace for buying one of our steers. She also bought a hog. She bought many a things, you know, so, but a lot of support with the community. We had a record entry of this year. I think there were 2,200 entries total between all of the different livestock. So it really was a well-attended event and just wonderful. Our community does a great job with that. Also, we had the Minnesota Honor Choir Concert. I want to thank Julie Hebert for putting on a tremendous event. It was a combination of our honor students with Sarasota County, and it was at SCF this past weekend. And just a tremendous performance of talent. We have well attended, and she really did a wonderful job, which is tying in to the Arts Council as well. I know you all have it marked on your calendar, but February the 5th is our Excellent in Education Awards. It is at MTC. The reception starts at 6, and the awards ceremony begins at 7. It is an event not to miss. So please make sure that we will see you all there. And for the next board workshop that's already been identified, we do have a capital workshop on construction just to finalize our priorities and redo our 5-year capital plan. That will be February 7th from 10 to noon. So we will then go back and kind of amend our 5-year capital plan based on the facility assessment. And it really does make sense to reprioritize after that. So those are my updates.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On to board comments. Reverend Golden, you're first up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to thank my colleagues for the opportunity to join them on last week in Tallahassee for the opening of the legislative session. We had an opportunity to visit with some of the legislators from our area and to visit with some of the legislators who are impacting public education from around the state. I particularly want to thank Dr. Hopes for the outstanding work that he did with respect to the advancing on the calendar of our aviation mechanic program here and the nursing program that will go a long way toward providing employment opportunities and helping attract the kind of people that could use the housing that Brother Kennedy has set forth. I do want to report that while there seems to be some effort to move in the direction of fair compensation for educators, the drawback seems to be that that effort is going to be circumscribed by being revenue neutral, which simply means that for every dollar that is invested in providing equitable pay for instructors, there will be a concomitant reduction in revenue from some other aspect of the budget. And I have long been on record as saying I don't think that we have to choose between quality education and quality health care. We ought to be able to afford both in our communities. I want to take this opportunity to thank our chair for the leadership that she demonstrated and for the presence of mind that she brings to bear in understanding issues of a statewide magnitude. It is easy for us to be here in Manatee County and think that we have all of the answers, or that the people that are sitting up here don't know what they are doing. But when you go places and you find out that we are highly regarded as a school district, when you go places and find out that there are school districts that are truly suffering in a lot of different ways, it's refreshing to have your peers who sit in the same kinds of desks that you sit say, you know, we wish we had your problems. And I have heard that many times since I've been up there. And so I'm still learning. I'm only a year here, but I have really come to appreciate the complexity of this job and the many faceted aspects of this job that you don't really come to fully appreciate until and unless you're sitting here. I have found that it is easy to be critical of the work of others, but I heard somewhere that there was an Indian proverb that says you don't really criticize your brother until you've walked a mile in their shoes. And so I thank you for, first off, accepting the challenge of being the chair of this board, but I also thank you for being courageous enough to get outside of Manatee County, and be there to help us go a little bit further. I think I'd really like to close with the fact that I'm encouraged by the direction that you're headed. In the morning, I will be leaving to attend a national symposium on the state of Black Americans in this country. This is a nationwide meeting that I have been invited to as a delegate to represent all of the African Methodist Episcopal churches in the state of Florida. We have 400 churches in this state. We have more than 100,000 AMEs, and I am the social action director for all of them. So tomorrow, I will be going to a national meeting to try to gain a little bit more perspective that I can bring back to try to make absolutely sure that we are all being represented equitably in this matter, from the superintendent on down and from the superintendent on up. So I ask for your prayers, because we all know how fleeting life is. There was a young man that got up day before yesterday to take his daughter to school, and he never made it. Never made it. In the prime of his life, with more riches than he could ever imagine, and he will not be numbered amongst the living anymore. So we need to be careful how we live, because we never know when we're going to die. So I'm simply happy to have this opportunity to serve and to try to make a positive difference in the community. Because my father taught me, it's not what you won't put up with that makes a man out of you. It's what you will put up with and not let it change you. Thank you.
Mr. Minor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's a real privilege, I think, as Board Member Golden listed, to sit here and have some part in helping make this community a better place. How this school district makes this community a better place through so many things that it does and involved with. And Board Member Kennedy and I were at the MTC graduation, I guess it was just last week, it all kind of, and we had he called about 120 people graduating at that time. And the thrill was the place was packed with parents and friends. I've never seen it with that number of people there excited about the growth of the students there to be even more contributing to this community and making it a place. And it's a thrill. It's a thrill. And Deputy Superintendent Wagner, of course, was there. And just to be kind of a part of it, and this is going on all the time, and the graduation with our training of police officers, at Manatee, Technical College. It's just a wonderful place. We sometimes lose focus of that when we think of, pre-K, through 12, but it goes way beyond that we touch as a board and responsible for in making this community such a great place. And I think more and more people are appreciating how this is an engine of opportunity and growth and quality for our community. And I thank everybody for allowing me to be part of that. They're great graduations. And that's a thrill. The superintendent, I think, alluded to, the fair. Now, I love the fair, not just because I like strawberry shortcake from the Church on the Rock and an elephant ear and all you can go down Heart Attack Row there and have a good time. And but I enjoy the fair, and I enjoy it for the hog auction and the cattle auction, and just seeing there and the joy and the great mixture of all of us in this community at the fair. It involves everybody, kids, young, old, black, white, green, everything else there. It's a real coming together of the community, and I enjoy that. And I thank Dan West and all the other people who make this event happen every year. That was particularly this past weekend, and it was part of the prior weekend when we celebrated MLK being a part of our country that helped make this a better place and as an example for making it even a better place. And what our community does to help celebrate that, I think, is outstanding. I'd like to think that all communities across the country are doing that. But, with the banquet, those of us who were there, Friday night, it's a thrill. It's a gathering of friends and sharing and hearing talk and celebration. And I'm happy to be a part of it. I was happy to be part of the parade, and I walk it and say hi to everybody that I can. And somebody didn't think I should be invited to it, but everybody was invited there, and I got water, given to me, and it's just spreading the word of the message of Dr. Martin Luther King. That is a great thing that this does. And then on Sunday we had the service and testimony of how one human being could help move our country and all the citizens, not only when he was alive but in the future, into a better frame of mind of working together, making this a better country and a better world. And whoa, that's a good thing. And I'm happy to be part of it. Talking about the auctions and Commissioner Trace, I think some of you probably know she raised cattle, and she had a hog, I think it was, or it was cattle. She named it Jimmy Boyd, and seriously, and who says that Jimmy Boyd can't be bought? But anyway, I take that back, but in a nice way. And I have a lot of respect for Jim, but her entry was Jimmy Boyd. He was president of the class, I think, in Palmetto when Commissioner Trace was going to school too. But I have a lot of respect for her and Jimmy Boyd. So it's been a great 2 weeks, and I'm proud to have been able to participate in a few nice ways. Thank you.
Dr. Hopes?
Well, Jimmy Boyd's running for Senate, so Mr. Minor was really making a joke because I too, Reverend Gold, enjoyed spending the time up in Tallahassee with our chair, and the superintendent's group was up there. But today was the Embracing Our Differences luncheon down in Sarasota, and I was joined by Dr. Melinda Lundy, and I think Dr. Shereen Gibson was there. They mentioned her name. I didn't see her, but I did speak with Dr. Lundy, and I were there. Some of our colleagues from the Sarasota School Board were there, and it was the largest attendance they had, and it was standing room only. And I encourage everyone. They said they have the largest exhibit this year too, down on the water in Sarasota. 50 billboard size pieces of art by these students, and some of them told their stories about really coming to this country a few years ago, middle school students and high school students, and how both their schools and clubs at their schools really helped them get through coming from other countries, from Asia and from Central America and from Eastern Europe, and not knowing the language, and how educators and student clubs made a difference in their life of getting to the point where they really felt that they were part of our community. So I encourage everyone to go out and see the just dramatic pieces of art that really send a message. And sometimes it's those messages by our young people that really wake us up to what's important. We did have a great week in Tallahassee last week. Our nursing education bill came up in its second House committee, so it's gone through a Senate committee and the second House committee, and no opposition. So it passed the House Higher Ed Appropriations Committee, so we only have one more stop in the House, and then it will be ready to go to the floor. And it was great to hear from other school districts in Tallahassee that Manatee County, and with our own Doug Wagner, who really helped give me the idea that we're leading this effort in the state to create a nursing career pathway for so many students, some of which come to Manatee Technical College and other technical colleges around the state, who first come to learn English. And when they leave our public education system, these men and women are ready for careers in nursing. And with this good legislation that sponsored by our own Representative Will Robinson in the House, and the chairman of the Senate Education Committee, Manny Diaz, in Miami, the state's public career and technical colleges will be able to offer an Associate of Science in nursing, so that they will be able to not just be licensed practical nurses, they will be able to be RNs. And so it's a big step in the right direction, and the mere fact that some of our opposition in the past did not speak out says a lot about the good work that we're doing. And Manatee County is leading the way with something that Mr. Wagner was told for 30 years couldn't happen. But we're there. The superintendent was shining as well up there. And then I had an opportunity Friday night to really go one-on-one with Bill Logan. And it was supposed to be about substitute teachers, but it really got parlayed into a one-on-one session about the positive things that we're doing in the school district of Manatee County, and that how important it is, even though we're talking about reconciling bank accounts and ERP systems and strategic planning and restructuring IT, that what our superintendent and her staff have been able to do, aside from all these challenges, is they've been able to focus on our core, which is the education daily of more than 50,000 children in Manatee County, and that education continues to improve every day, and our outcomes are improving. And I felt that was important, that we really work with the community to demonstrate that this board is coming together in a very positive way to address a very complex organization. But we have to do that in such a way that the administration and the superintendent have the support they need to do what we are here for. It's okay for the public to come up and criticize us, and I might be getting tired of it, but the fact of the matter is, we are here to ensure that 50,000 children a day get the best education that this country has to offer. And what that means for so many of our children is the only sustainable way I know out of poverty is education. And we've got so many children in this community that the education they receive here in the school district of Manatee County is not going to just change the life of that child. It is going to change that child's family for generations to come. And that's why we are here. This board is committed to solving the problems of the past and helping to avoid the ones of the future. But I just ask the public to understand that aside from all of that, we've got to ensure that we insulate the administration enough so that they can do what we're here for, which is our core, which is the success of all of our students through academic achievement. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Vice Chair Kennedy.
Thank you, Gina. I've got a little bit of a potpourri, but I'll be, it's a bunch of small little items, so I won't be too long. First, Superintendent Yost already mentioned the Saturday morning's event. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware that it's at St. Paul's Church right around the corner. You might have said that and I missed it, but so if anybody does want to join us, it is open to the public, so it's there. Superintendent Wagner mentioned the job fair, and I just want to present this idea, board members. Imagine that our staff were to go to a job fair somewhere else in the state or out of state, and we were able to offer as part of our package affordable housing for $750 a month.
And a BMW lease.
Okay,
Our plan. I've already sent it to HR.
Gotcha. And then finally, I had some things to say, but they've already been covered by other folks, including the Tallahassee efforts that three of you have undergone and the superintendent underwent. It is a little bit horrifying that news hit this week that there are certain members of the legislature and DOE and our educational statewide power structure that want to bring high-stakes testing to 4- and 5-year-olds in pre-K. There is already a coalition forming at Politics Brings Strange Bedfellows together, and this is one of them. So there's some very diverse groups coming together to oppose high-stakes testing of 4- and 5-year-olds. I can't even believe that we're here. So for those of you who do have some pull with folks in Tallahassee, please make sure that that never happens, because that's insane. And then I'm going to put on my wellness ambassador hat for 1 second. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. at MTC, we have a Zumba fundraiser, which is for the Campaign for Grade Level Reading. So I'm going to get my big butt over there at 6 p.m. and do some Zumba. I hope you'll join me. Also, our wellness program, you may already know, but our schools and our school properties can basically, we are all competing with each other to achieve levels of wellness. So I would really like for this building, and Joe Eubanks out front at the front desk, he is also one of our ambassadors, so Joe knows what I'm talking about. But basically, Roe, our wellness coordinator, has provided this checklist to all of our school buildings. And to become platinum, you need to check all these things off. And so one of those items is a place for breastfeeding and milk expression. And I wanted to ask the board colleagues if we could give up our foyer to our board office as a designated breastfeeding and milk expression area. Hearing no objections, it is so ordered that is the...
You mean we'd have to come through there?
Well, obviously, if somebody was using it, they could lock the door. And
He hasn't thought through that well, but we'll find a space.
We'll make sure nobody walks in on them or whatever. But we'll work out the details later. But that would, check us off, and then we can keep working on our checklist so we can become platinum, because if we are a platinum school or school building, we get $1,000.
Is that the only thing we need is a lactation room?
Well, I apologize, I don't have the checklist in front of me, but I will make sure you get it tomorrow morning. But that's one that seems kind of hard for people to achieve. So we have a room, we have a perfect spot for it, so let's get that done. Let's get that checked off the list. What is the other wellness item I had? I guess that was it. Oh, I was leaving our referendum oversight committee, the financial oversight committee, but they're overseeing the referendum. And I scooted out 203 and I came down the stairwell, and it struck me that stairwell is kind of institutional. It's, I mean, but, my idea is.
Sarasota Memorial Hospital, because it's glass
Okay,
block.
it really
But that's,
They get more tax dollars.
but that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going, is that idea of kind of dressing up that stairwell. This is not wellness. This is more of like a kind and welcoming workplace, because our stairwells are not kind and welcoming. It's like you're in this industrial factory or something. So my idea was just that we do some sort of art contest to, brighten up our industrialized stairwells. I think that's all of the crazy ideas I have for tonight, and I'll give you all a break. But I do appreciate we had a good meeting tonight. I appreciate the public for continuing to come out and address issues with us. It can be tough sometimes, but we do appreciate you being here, and we hope that will continue. And that's all I got.
Madam Chair, about this Zumba thing, I don't think Mr. Kennedy mentioned that it's a fundraiser for the early learning reading. And so what I would like to do, since I cannot be here, I will be in Houston, Texas tomorrow. I would like to go ahead and make sure that Mr. Minor and Mr. Kennedy, Chair Messenger, Dr. Hopes, Superintendent, the assistant, up to $100. Well, oh yeah, Title Bond, he looks like he could use some Zumba.
You're going to pay for 10 of us to be there?
Yes, I'm going to pay for 10 of you all to be there. Yeah, so that'll work.
Okay.
Mr. Chapman, you're on.
Last but not least, I would like to say, being a mom that breastfed both of my kids for a year each one, I used that room to breastfeed my daughter.
Check it off. It's already there.
FYI, I just want you to know
We
that.
just haven't put a sign up
You
yet.
just,
that's
I
all.
just, I'm just telling you, I did. Y'all don't come in there. Baby's got to eat. However, I also want to talk on Commissioner Trace. Not only did she buy the steer, she then donated all the meat to the Rabonia Center. So not only did she, yeah, I know, that's what I'm going to tell you. I talked to her last night about it. And so that's amazing. What else? Oh, I want to talk about what you kind of mentioned about the testing. I taught kindergarten. We actually did, in one of the schools I taught at, they were kind of piloting that, and we did a standardized test in kindergarten, and it was the ITBS test. So it was based on Iowa standards. And we did it at the beginning of the year, we did it at the end of the year. And I can genuinely tell you, I got nothing from that as a teacher. Nothing. And I don't mind telling the legislators that. Like, I mean, I told them other stuff. I mean, I don't mind. Believe me, I've said stuff. You have no idea. I made a comment about irrelevant tests that are already out there. So I just want to share that. And that's from firsthand knowledge. It was a standardized test. And the validity of the test there was none. And I got nothing from it. And I'm a data-driven teacher, but there was no data there to be used. But last but not least, I would like to thank everyone that went to Tallahassee. And, I think we really did focus on a lot of what we decided as a board was important to us, which was really increasing the number in the BSA, just so that we can control and we can help and make sure our teachers really get the money they need and stop putting in a categorical. We discussed more money for pre-K. We talked about not counting pre-K teachers as teachers. Those are just some of the things that we had shared and we had approved as our priorities, and just making sure that they hear those priorities and have a face to look at, have an onus say that person. I think that means a lot. And with that, without any further objections,
Great job. I move we adjourn, Madam Chair.
we will adjourn the meeting at 7:25.